Chubstep.
Creating the oil of Goldman.
Steed.
Step.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morn.
Well, I can't say that they know, my brother. What a time.
Shit.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show started.
The Dow is down 158 points. The NASDAQ down 110 points. S&P 500 down 19 points. What will this mean for you and your family in the long term? Stay here to find out.
It's our first stock.
Those are real numbers. Those are real numbers.
Those are real. And by the time everybody listens to this, they'll be completely irrelevant.
Yeah, but they'll remember the day.
They'll remember the day. Yeah, don't forget the day the Dow dropped, which is every other day. But yeah, Steve, good facts. Yeah, that's what we need, more hard hitting facts right at the beginning to get people.
We need stock
ready.
facts.
We need stock facts. Informational facts, just things that people think they need to care about. But by the time they hear it, like I said, it's kind of relevant. We could give like sports facts of the day that are already kind of relevant by the time people listen.
Yeah, people are like, hey, did you know that last week was the anniversary of Aaron Rodgers' football throw? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a good try. It was a good try.
That's sports history.
Sports history with Steve. So
yeah,
we upgraded our podcast hosting platform. I had to do that because I think I was doing too many episodes in a month or something like that. I don't know what changed other than
it's not a lot. We don't do a crazy amount.
No, I don't do a crazy amount, and I've had the same one since we started, so I don't know why it made me upgrade, but basically there was a time I had to upgrade. I think I was doing just bigger file sizes or something. But because of that, I was able to see where our other countries downloads, where we get other downloads from throughout the world.
That's fun.
So this is in the last 30 days.
We got it. Can I guess our number one outside of US?
Yes. I don't think you're going to guess it.
I'm going to guess it is somewhere in Europe. I'm going with Slovenia.
No, not on the list.
Damn
or not at least not in the top 10 here. So the last 30 days, so vast majority is United States. So over 1,000 for that. But then when we go to the next country, 74 downloads from India.
Yeah.
Then next, 19 from Singapore.
Okay.
17 from Germany.
Smacko's spreading the word.
Smacko, yeah. 15 from United Kingdom.
Okay.
13 from Russia.
Ooh.
10 from the North Marina Islands. I'm assuming that's your brother.
That's Greg. That's Greg. We can lock that one down.
7 from Nepal.
Okay.
6, Nigeria. 6 Uganda. Now we're getting into 4s and less than that, so I'm not going to say the numbers, but they're just 4 and less. Hong Kong, Italy, Tanzania, 4 downloads last month. Canada, Kenya.
Canada is lower. Canada is lower than those other countries. Yeah, that's nuts.
Switzerland, Denmark, Turkey, France, Australia, Mexico, Guam, Ireland, Congo, Thailand, and Belgium.
Okay. All right. Well, I get the Tanzania and Nigeria ones.
Yeah.
Because they probably see like some descriptions of Tanzania news and they're like, yes. Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Finally
somebody's covering this. Finally, the Chicago coverage of Tanzania that we've been looking for.
Yeah. And they listen to it and they're just pissed off.
Yeah. I think
this isn't going on. We don't have a lot of donkey problems.
Actually, to be fair, though, if somebody is listening in Tanzania and has other thoughts, we'd love to hear from somebody actually that's, lived in the country and been to the country Email the
You
show,
could be our
Chubstep.
correspondent.
You can be your official correspondent on the ground, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. Email the show and we'll hook it up. So just little fun facts there, Steve. Like I said, I haven't been able to see that before, so it was fun to check that out.
That was fun. Good,
Yeah.
good for India, I think. Was
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a country where like chub might mean something else.
Yeah.
And it seems kind of like you could throw it into like some Eastern European languages.
Yeah, it seems like you got a lot of Eastern European stuff, so it could be. Could be. I also had an update on the psychopath test. So you asked me to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did.
How'd you do?
33% psycho.
Oh, that's low, dude.
Yeah, it's not. So I'm not apparently not a big
You
fan.
would have failed. You would have failed that test in a school. I would have gotten almost a perfect score.
Well, is it? You're saying it's failing means that I'm not a psycho, right?
What's wrong with being a psycho?
No, it's fair. You're right. So I guess if the test is how psycho are you, and you don't do very well, then you do fail the test. 33% is a failing grade. I see what you're saying.
What did it? Shoot. Now that kind of legitimizes the website. I'm not going to a doctor,
Yeah, don't go to the doctor.
even though it did say seek help immediately. I'm not burning down any buildings or anything.
Not yet.
I'm just a normal guy. You know,
I'm just a normal, cool dude. Nothing to worry about here. Nothing to worry about.
I mean, sometimes I think about like burning down a school.
The children's daycare that's across the street from you.
I stand in my window and just stare at them like anytime I'm home. But what are they going to do about it? I live here. They came there after me. Maybe I did this before they were there.
I will say there's not enough like intense staring that I see. It's such an easy thing to do that you can't really get in trouble for. Like when people are sitting at a restaurant, they're sitting right near the window, especially like in the city where there's people always walking past. It would be so easy for like somebody with, psychopath, like you're saying, to just stand in the window and just stare at these people that are only separated by a piece of glass that are, foot away from you, and just stand there and stare at them. And there's nothing they could do, right?
Nope.
They could like come and ask you to leave, but like they'd have to get up, walk around. You could leave.
And then you just don't leave.
Yeah. And then like, even if somebody came over, like there'd be some time that passed, but in that time you'd make them very uncomfortable. But I never see that happen. And I wish I would see it more, because it'd be such an easy like prank type thing to do, or just like a weird thing.
That would be a weird.
If you wanted to just stand, like I said, you're just standing right there staring at somebody, or at the bars or things like that. Yeah.
And then, well, if they come out, then you just go, "Oh my God, that's not a mirror. I thought this was a two-way mirror."
I didn't know
you can see me. Yeah.
I didn't know you could see me. My bad. But like, the psycho people with psychosis don't take advantage of that enough. Like a lot of people on the street or things like that. I feel like that should be a major use of. I would use my spare time if I lived on the street.
Well, I did think, and I was like, is that a disorder where I could get a disability? Like if I can test, 99% consistently, then I could get like, and they give me disability money, then I could be disabled and get a handicap placard. And then if somebody's like, you don't even look handicapped, I'll just lose it on them.
Yeah.
I don't look handicapped. And I won't even be able to get in trouble.
Always have a tearaway shirt. Like your buttons there, you could pull at the button. Don't do it now, but you could do it. Yeah. Well, exactly. Yes. I was meant something that you would have to like.
This is like, never buttoned. But
they always have slight rips in them, so like you just pull it apart very easily. That's a good psychopath move.
I'm not disabled. They're like, whoa, okay.
I do love that concept. Yeah. Could you get out of start things because you took one online test that says you got 99%. Psychopath. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll see if whoops. I just exited out of something. I'll see if I can get on disability, because then I can do this full time. I can do this podcast, Chubstep podcast, full time if I have no other commitments, because the government gives me money.
It's not a ton of money, just so you know.
It's enough to do a podcast.
It's enough to do a podcast.
Time.
You're right. It's enough to do a podcast. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's something you want to get to, dude?
Jay, so this keeps happening to me. I go, and this is speaking of see-through windows. My windows are see-through, and I already got the daycare across the street from me.
Yeah.
And so between the hours of, I don't know what time they start, But up until 5 p.m. on the weekdays, I can't walk around in my window with my pants off.
Yeah.
And
you
normally
cannot do
there's
that.
normally there's a road where, but they're driving like 35 miles an hour.
Sure.
So
yeah.
if they would have to, it's a very specific window. But normally I have no pants on and I'm just in my underwear, like regardless. Cause I
Yeah.
keep the AC low, save
Fair.
some money. But
Fair.
my fish tank is right next to my window.
Okay.
And I feed my fish every day, whatever, in the evening.
Yeah.
And every single time I go to feed my fish, I gotta go right up. I keep my fish food like right on my windowsill.
Sure.
And I'm shirtless in my underwear. And I bend down to pick it up. I look down and there's always somebody sitting in their car in the same parking spot. And they always look up and see me every single time without
A
fail.
different car, right?
Different car, different person.
Different person, yeah.
I don't know what people are doing sitting there.
What is this? What is the parking spot facing?
Well, it's on Route 31. And it's like a parallel one. So it's not facing into a window. It's literally
it was parallel parking spot along the street.
yes, but
Yeah.
there's a barber shop below me.
Oh.
So I'm like, what? You're just waiting for the barber in
And
your
not
car?
only so they're looking up, they're not just looking down at the barbershop, they're like happen to be looking up.
Well, I think like I startle them because they see
I see,
movement,
I see.
and then they're just like, "What was that?" And they're like, "Oh, geez, oh my god."
Has it ever been like an attractive girl, or is it usually just like a guy?
It's
an
usually
older
like a
guy.
guy. Yeah, if
Yeah.
it was an
It's a
attractive
barber
girl,
shop. See, you should be on
Yeah.
top of a beauty shop. You're on top of a barber shop.
actually,
That's the
right to the
problem.
left of the barber shop, there is a hair salon.
There we go.
I don't know. I still Ace never got back to us on the legal ethics of being naked in your own window in your own home.
I'll double check. I'm gonna write this down to talk to Ace about that.
Yeah, I just want to get these people off my case. And if you're one of the 6 people in India that listen to this and traveled here and you're the one doing it, just stop.
74. But yeah.
Back it up one space. Everybody's going to have a nicer evening.
There you go. There you go. You just don't want to be you don't want to be a piece of meat, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And like last night I went on a walk and there was just some guy in the woods. Like I thought he was going to like attack me.
Yeah.
And he was like right across the street from my apartment. I couldn't even like I look out the window all the time at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to make sure nobody's gonna murder me. But when I went out and I went on a walk, it was like 10:30. He was just like out there. And I was like, what the hell?
But not
What's
just
this
taking a
guy
walk, he
doing?
was just kind of standing around.
He was literally standing, didn't move.
Loitering.
I went on a like 45-minute walk in the well lit downtown
Yes.
Batavia. And I
Yeah.
got back and he was still there.
Oh God.
And I was like, what the heck is this guy doing? And then I was like, where did I put my gun? Because like
Yeah.
I got a gun, but I don't know where it's at. It's like somewhere in my closet.
Yeah. There was this guy that used to walk around like the area where you and me grew up, Steve, actually. But I don't think you're familiar with this guy. I'm not going to say his name, but he used to just walk around the neighborhood, usually around the parks, and he would also hang out at the pool all the time. And he
Oh.
was like he had to be in his like upper 50s or 60s. But apparently he had been doing that since like my mom grew up there in the 70s. So he had been around, he'd been doing this like forever. He must have been like in the 60s or 70s. Older guy.
So, but he's
but-
been doing it since he was in his like 20s.
He was consistently like just been doing this forever, where he just like hangs out, especially like in the kiddie area of the pool.
Oh God. Oh
stuff.
God.
But apparently, like, not to my family's knowledge, has lived there a long time, not a convicted, sexual deviant.
He's
but,
I
like,
check his computer. Check
yeah.
that guy's computer. He's going down.
He seemed very harmless. But I don't know the whole story behind it. But it
Not
was
to a
always, like,
child.
Exactly. I don't know. But we always would, he'd be there every time we go to the pool, whenever we'd be walking around. Like if you walked around the parks and stuff, he'd be kind of just standing around.
No.
So
You got to take that guy down. Or you ask him, you give him a set of math problems, right?
Okay.
And you
Well, I
see
didn't ever
what.
talk to him. I never talked to him.
Well, you got to see what grade level he can do math at, because maybe he's
Okay.
just like, got a brain disorder where he's like, 10 years old still.
Well,
So you
that
gotta
is always
give
a
him-
possibility. Yeah.
You got to, yeah, but either way, you can beat his ass and nobody would be mad. Just like, look at that creep.
Oh, he'd be mad.
He might be sad. I don't think he'd probably be like, man, that took a while. Because what if he's just like been doing it for so long and he keeps going a little further? Because he's like, nobody's gonna kick my ass this time. All right, well,
He's trying to push the limits. You're saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down the slide with some kids next time. Then,
yeah,
all right, nobody got mad at that.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna take my pants off in the pool.
It's hard to know if he liked kids or just liked being around where kids are. Like just like well, now that this sounds just as bad. But I mean, like, what if his favorite place just happens to be a playground, but it has nothing to do with the fact that
you got to build your own. You got to build your own
in your own backyard. I agree. You got to.
Yeah, but then it looks like you're just luring kids.
Yeah, that looks worse to have your. What looks worse? Going to a playground without a kid, or building a playground in your backyard and you don't have any kids.
Well, I mean, it depends if like the neighbor kids start coming over.
Well, yeah, assume they don't. What if you have it fenced in? Like, what's worse?
Well, that's fine, because then you can be like resale value. You can blame it on something.
Okay. Okay.
You cannot. Oh man, I had a kid sit on my lap. Did I talk about this? You drove the car.
You're talking about the kid that you fell into the air pocket thing with.
That was horrible. That was one of the worst experiences of my life.
That kid's mom emailed the show. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. She was actually she was happy with me because I put my hands up. I literally like the second I get in there, hands go up. I'm like, there's no diddle in here.
That's when Steve fell. He was bouldering and fell into like an air mattress, not air mattress, but it was an air safety bag.
I just fell into an air mattress.
No, air like safety bag, so like a big mat, and there was a kid that rolled on top of you basically while you were in there.
And it turned into a pit, and nobody could get out.
You're stuck in this air pit with this kid. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had my friend's kid, and he likes cars, so I let him drive my car.
Yeah.
But I had to be in the car, so he was like on my lap, and I was like, man, this is I'm gonna go to jail. But he starts driving, and I'm driving, and I'm like, all right, you can steer. Like his parents aren't in the car, let him go nuts. And he takes the wheel and starts movie steering.
Oh no!
Like hard in in a real car, and the car is just like
yeah. Yours is pretty tight turning on your car.
Yeah, so he was moving that thing around, and I was like,
kidding.
And that was the first time I've ever seen,
actual movie,
the classic movie, whatever 70s movie. I was like, wow, all right, I guess it actually makes sense. That's how
that's
some people drive.
That's how he thinks you do it. Yeah, God, ridiculous.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Steve, I saw a controversial tattoo
the
other day.
I'm getting even more controversial one.
Good. So this one was a lady that I saw walking across the street. She was wearing like a tank top, so you could see her shoulder exposed. Very controversial.
Yeah.
So she had the Japanese rising sun tattoo on her shoulder, which for those that don't know, I'll show it on YouTube here. You've probably seen this before. It's actually a kind of a pretty thing, which I get why she has this. Let me share my screen here on YouTube, Chubstep podcast. So it's this thing. So you've seen this before.
Oh yeah, it's their flag.
No, it's not their flag. This is their World War II.
They changed it?
Yeah.
Now they're just a circle.
They're just the circle. This is like the World War II. Like this flag was literally like what this is like the Japanese equivalent of the Nazi flag.
Yeah. Well, maybe she's she's just really proud to be Japanese.
She did not look Japanese. She did not.
She was not Japanese.
She could have been. Could she have been? Yes, but it did not. She did not look Japanese to me.
Maybe her dad was then.
Yeah,
he was Japanese and he was in the war.
Like people use this thing. It's more than just. Obviously, it's kind of used a little bit more than just like the Nazi flag's not maybe a great example because it's not as extreme as that. But I mean, people, because I'm looking this up and people are saying that sometimes people have it at Japanese teams, sporting events, individual things like that. But in general, I feel like in the day of canceling things and all this kind of stuff, maybe don't use the flag that kind of got its most notoriety with the Japanese in World War II.
Yeah, this says, like, I looked up its meaning and it says it symbolizes the sun, embodies the country's sober land of rising sun. However, in former Japanese occupied countries, it symbolizes imperial aggression and war crimes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You got the war crime tattoo. It's not as bad as the swastika tattoo.
Yeah.
Which I recently saw on a guy working at a tire shop, a national branded tire shop. So this isn't like some mom and pop. This is like a big tire brand. He's got his shirt open like I do, and he's got a swastika on his chest. Big one. Not little. Big. I'm talking like
large.
A foot tall, foot wide. And I was just like, oh, okay. You guys.
Interesting. Yeah. Anything goes here.
I guess nobody wants to tell him to close his shirt because
guy's too scary.
He'll murder him.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel like you could get away with telling him it without telling him that. Like, we just have like a closed shirt policy here.
Yeah, it's pretty standard in all businesses.
Yeah. No shirt, no service. That goes
just nationwide.
For the employees as well. Goes for the employees as well. So yeah, it is interesting. My hope is that the guy like just got out of jail and hasn't had the time to remove it yet.
That's what I was like. I'm like, maybe he's turning his life around because he's been to jail. You can tell. You're like, this guy's been in jail.
Yeah, he's got that look to him. I wish I had that look, but without actually going to jail. I don't know how to do that.
I know. Well, you go to the tattoo parlor and say, I'd like a large swastika on my forehead.
That would be one way I prefer not to do it in some sort of
without the swastika. Is
there any sort of Nazi?
I mean, you could do the teardrop.
Yeah. Teardrop works. I'd like things not as permanent. I just want like the look, but I guess the tattoos are part of the look. I have no tattoos.
Yeah, I would do actually like 2 to 3 teardrops because one teardrop, everybody can kill one guy.
How about one really large teardrop? Everybody does the small ones. How about one that's the size of my whole cheek?
And you could be like whole family.
Or just a very large person. I killed a very obese man with this large teardrop.
I mean, that would be, I wouldn't be as scared with the large teardrop.
Yeah.
But
exactly. It does seem it's more clown-like, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's any face tattoo really will get you there.
Yeah. What's something else you get used to?
Jay, aliens. They're back. They're back. Did you see this? Time. The government was like, hey, aliens are real, kind of.
All I saw was a headline and I didn't read into it, so I don't know the story.
I did read into it.
Good.
So some guy named David Grush, he's an Air Force veteran. I got his background. He's just basically a nerd. So he was a decorated combat officer with the Air Force in Afghanistan. He was in the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. He was in the National Reconnaissance Office, where he was the National Reconnaissance Office representative to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. So that sounds pretty. He's basically plain guy.
I'll double salute him.
Then you start looking for UFOs.
Okay.
For the government, and he's claiming not only that he's got they've got him on like sensors and shit, but they have taken like crash landed aliens and they got bodies. They got alien bodies.
Okay, like Independence Day.
Yeah, he went to Congress and testified. This is a quote. Some Congress lady. If it was a man, I would have called him a Congress bitch. She's a Congress nerd. Okay. If you believe, she says, if you believe we have crashed craft, as you stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Oh.
And then he said, as I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, he did a big interview.
Okay.
And he says some crazy stuff in that.
Okay.
He said, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah. And she said, were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics? And he says non-human. And that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program that I talked to that are currently still in the program.
Okay. So he's claiming that there have been crashes and that. Why did he get called in front of Congress?
I think because he did this interview.
Oh, on News Nation?
And he was like the whistleblower. So he's whistleblowing. And then Congress is like, hey, get in here. Stop it. And then
so were they telling him to stop, or like just to like, if he's going to say stuff, he has to have evidence to back it up?
Probably. I honestly have I don't know how the government works. I don't know why they are like, oh, some guys saying aliens exist, bring him in.
Yeah,
get him down here.
Yeah.
So he says that he theorizes that these UFOs could be coming from extra dimensions.
Oh, good. Not just other planets, other dimensions.
Yeah, and we've got some football field sized crafts.
Okay.
And they're doing malevolent activity. The UFOs. These UFOs are.
What does malevolent mean?
It means it's a movie that Angelina Jolie starred in.
It was Maleficent or
malevolent is a shade of red. It's a hue of red.
Malevolent is a 2018 horror movie.
Oh, it is. You don't know what malevolent? Do you really not know what malevolent means?
No, I don't know what that means. Showing a wish to do evil to others. That's what it means.
I know some of these words.
But the movie is about a brother and sister team that fabricates paranormal encounters for cash.
Oh,
they get more than what they bargained for.
They find a real ghost.
They find a.
That's a good plot. I like that plot. That
real
sounds
paranormal
fun.
Activity. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So the aliens are bad. They got football field sized ships, but we have football field sized stadiums. So sounds like the perfect place for them to land. If you ask me.
Just make sure it's not during a Bills game, right?
I'd be pissed. I did see a chart.
There's already been one canceled game. We can't have another.
We talked about our viewers. The Bills are the number 2 football team in the world for like fan coverage.
Nice.
Yeah. Tampa Bay Buccaneers number 1. Every country in like a long shot number 1. Every country in South America likes the Buccaneers. Every country in Africa likes the Buccaneers.
What?
I think it's because like they're pirates.
It's kind of a cool stadium. I like the big pirate ship.
And it's like the pirate flag, which I feel like most of the other teams are like Americanisms. They're like, the Buffalo Bills. Okay, Buffalo. Nobody else in the world gives a shit about Buffalo because they're only from North America.
That's true.
But Russia, big Bills fans.
That is random. The movie I was talking about earlier, Malevolent, starring Florence Pugh, who was in Oppenheimer, tying this whole episode full circle.
Wow. And we were talking about it at Bro Grill last week.
What were we talking about?
Florence Pugh, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did talk. Actually, Steve, at that event, your car got hit.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, it's me and Steve we're cooking up a storm at my parents, and
delicious.
All of a sudden we get a knock on the door, and we find out that a neighbor kid, actually not even a neighbor kid, like
it was a neighbor
of a neighbor kid.
It was a neighbor kid's
boyfriend.
It was a neighbor's kid's boyfriend's friend.
Yeah. He had this big SUV. I don't know if it's like what do you have, Suburban?
It's like a Tahoe or a Suburban.
Tahoe, yeah, Tahoe, like an older one. And Steed's car is black and was underneath a tree. It was dark. And it was actually it was weird because there was a street light, but the tree was blocking all the light from your car.
Oh, whatever.
No, but
that's what he blamed it on?
I didn't blame anything. I just was like, how did this happen? And it made a little more sense after I saw that. But anyway, the guy just smashed the back of Steed's car. I
think he was parking into a driveway. He miffed the first try. This is what I'm assuming. So he pulls in, blows it, and then he's like, "Oh, I got to straighten out." Back straight into my car.
Yeah. So that was pretty ridiculous. You were talking to the kid's dad forever. Hopefully that's all
Yeah.
sorted out. But-
Yeah, I just got a quote. They're gonna probably want to go through insurance.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Those
lot.
Ford
it's a lot.
Ford Focuses are pretty expensive to repair, apparently.
That's right. That's right. But was of interesting side story that happened from this is I was like, oh man, I got rear-ended by a semi truck one time, and I told you that whole story, and then I showed you the pictures of it.
Oh
And,
god.
yeah, so I had a bunch of pictures. This happened like 2017, and I got rear-ended by a semi. It was like he was going super slow, and it did almost no damage to my car. But I took pictures, I got his ID and all this stuff, and then he's like, hey, you know what? I don't want this to go on my record, so can we just give you some cash right now? So we drove over to a ATM. He pulled out like $400 or $500 in cash and just paid me right there, and I drove off. So I was pretty happy because it was literally like it looked like the tiniest little scratch on my back bumper, and I just got like
And you just made fun. Yeah.
yeah. So what Steve pointed out when I showed him these pictures, I was looking at the pictures, and I had a picture that I got that guy's ID still, and he was driving with a void commercial trucking license. And so that's why he didn't want me to find out.
It was stamped or like cut out.
Yeah,
and now,
like a press.
now they just cut him in half.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised
Which is probably why they do that now, because this years later, I looked at this thing a couple times, held it in my hand to take the picture. I didn't notice the void thing. Steve takes 1 second, looks at this and sees this big void stamp, because it is see-through. It's like a stamp through it. It's not like red or something like that.
Yeah.
But this guy was just got hit by a semi truck with a void license,
illegal license. You'd think the company that he
It
worked
must be
for
pretty shady.
wouldn't let
Exactly.
him drive.
They clearly.
Also, why
They're
even
not
have
on
a
top of
driver's license if it's void? Like the
It's- I
cops
feel
pull
like
you
better
over
to
and
have-
and it says void on it. You're like, here you go.
I feel like it's better to have
like,
no license
okay.
than that license.
Yeah, I would go with it's at my house.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, and my name's David Sandhill Tree. Look it up.
Yeah.
I have 7 female wives. Go to my Instagram.
Jay, my Twitter
Oh yeah.
is an X now.
Yes, I saw that. Elon
This is-
changed the Twitter to an X.
This is horse shit.
I've
just
not
like his
logged on
kid's
since it's
name.
done. What is his
No.
kid's name again?
It's XAE. I don't know. It starts with XAE something 80 fish sticks.
Yeah, it's a bunch of like letters and numbers and something, right?
But I got a hack because I have the app in an iPhone folder.
Yeah.
And it's in the folder, and it
Okay.
still has the old bird logo.
Oh wow.
But when I click into the folder, then it switches to an X.
Oh, sad.
So I might try and auction this phone off because I'll never take it out of my folder, right?
Yeah,
that app, and then I can auction this phone with the original Twitter logo. It'll be like
Wow.
an art piece.
Oh my god, yeah, you have to display it. I would first before I try to sell it, just display it on like an art gallery.
Oh yeah. I'll have my calculator app and my clock app, and then like the old Twitter app, and people will be like, damn, times before AI. Crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Good old days. That's very sad, Steve. Very sad.
It is.
For you to go through that. Yeah.
Don't double click that iPhone headphone and skip this podcast, because we'll be right back with more Chubstep.
But I went to a Regina Spektor concert. A lot of people probably don't know who Regina Spektor is, but you would probably know some.
I
of her
have no
songs
idea.
if you heard her.
I'll listen to them while you're talking.
Perfect. She had a few big songs in kind of the mid 2000s. She did the theme song for the Chronicles of Narnia, Steve. One of your favorite movies.
I never got into those.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. All right. Anyway, so she's a very good singer. I think if I had to say, was that the best concert I've ever seen? I don't know if I'd go that far. And I'm not saying she's the best performer. But I think, yeah.
Was this your wife's choice, or are you just a big Regina
we actually
Spektor
separately
fan?
were both fans, and then they came out
Really?
like a couple years into that. So, but I think she is legitimately like the best voice of any female singer I've heard.
I mean, other than Nicki Minaj.
She has these crazy, like, goes ups and downs. She's very strange, but she's a very good singer. But anyway, it was the first concert I went to where everybody was just like dead silent in the audience.
Really?
So there was maybe, I don't know, it was a good amount of people there. And we were fairly close up. And I mean, it was literally like there was no talking between people in the thing. There was no like really not really any clapping between sets or like cheering or things like that. It was like just people just wanted to hear her talk. She started off doing this minute-long song that was just in Hebrew, a cappella. And it was like incredible song. Anyway, the point is though, there was a couple weird things that happened at this concert. So one was that during all the openers, there was this guy sitting right next to me. And this was kind of an open field type of concert. It was actually on a golf course. So they set it up on the fairway of the thing. And this guy sitting right next to me has a thing set up where he is watching a whole UFC match.
Oh God!
On an
What
iPad,
what a combo!
on an iPad.
I just listened to one song and it's very like it. I mean, I don't know how to.
It's kind of
explain
Nora
it.
Jonesy sounding. It's very kind of.
And if Nora Jones had skills, that's how I'll explain it.
So
You can't combine that with UFC.
So he's not. So he when she started, he put that away. But like during all the openers, he literally has a full iPad out. I mean, this is a large iPad too, like as big as one as I've seen, and he has it out there just streaming UFC fight, which is just the most random. Man,
I got
thing.
a lot of money on this.
Yes, I know. It was like very clear. Like that seemed like something that seemed like a wife wanted to break up. And he's like, well, I'm not missing the games. I'm not missing the fights. I'm not missing the fights tonight.
Well, bring your iPad, Philip.
That was their compromise. So, but then the other funny thing of this concert was there was this one girl that was sitting like, we were maybe like 5 rows back. We could see pretty well. There was a person in the front row that was so intent, like the most, like when you talk about psychopath, Steve, this is like a psychopath fan that would be like, you're nervous to get stuck in an alleyway with them. This girl, the whole time she's sitting, like she's doing this. Like she is so
rocking
excited. She is so excited in this concert. She's rocking like with her hands clenched in a T-Rex arms, and she's rocking back and forth. And like maybe first or second song, every time it's quieter, she's like cheering. She's the only one doing it. She's like, ah! And then Regina actually stops in mid-song. She says, "That's so sweet of you, but if you keep doing that, I'm gonna mess up." Is what she said.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yes, well, because like you said, you could hear this girl because it was just dead silent, except for this one person doing this.
Is that her thing where she's like, "All right, everybody, shut up at my concerts. I'm gonna sing and you're gonna listen."
I don't know. I think it'd be a little different if everybody was doing it, because then it wouldn't be so like it was so jarring when it's just one person. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's a little different, like when the whole group, like a group thing, was so dry, which is like one person. And this girl, then she kept like doing the clapping.
Oh God!
If I was sitting next to the person, I would just like grab their hands and just like, please stop, because it was like I had like the secondhand embarrassment of like, this girl is so just not picking up on social cues about anyone else around there. But like literally, I could tell she was like really trying to hold back herself the entire time, like really like this anxiety was building inside her that she had to release. And I just don't know what type of I like, it's just insane fans. And now you kind of know how like when the people get like shot and stuff like that, where it's like, oh my God, I loved them so much I killed them type of thing. That's like what this girl seemed like.
Yeah, you might want to like report her to the FBI or something.
I was nervous. But we'll wrap it up there. Email the show, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. If you're in Tanzania, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. It's actually the same email. You just goes to us.
Yeah.
So
you can title it the subject. Just put in "I'm from Tanzania."
That's right. So
we know there's 6 of you.
We know.
Speak up.
We know the numbers. Do not try to hide. We will find you. I do episodes every Thursday. Oh, Steve, what's an update on Steed Swallows, your Instagram or your Instagram?
So Steed Swallows Instagram, we have a big drop coming. So mainly I'm working out again. All right. I'm getting yoked. So the main thing I've been swallowing is protein shakes.
Okay.
And they're not very good, but maybe I'll do a fancy one. Like I'll spice it up.
Do a fancy protein shake and
put some peanut butter in there. Maybe like some bison, because I've been actually eating a lot of bison. It's delicious. It gives me longer lasting erections too.
Okay. People
so
don't
I
talk
do-
about that.
Yeah, I recommend bison. Give it a shot. I'll put some of that stuff in there.
Okay, good. And
And
then
I'll
what about your
review
flat
that.
Earth? Your
The flat Earth one,
believing flat Earth.
actually, it's proving flat Earth, and
Proving
I'm
flat Earth,
still
thank you.
slowly gaining followers from that initial follow spree when I followed like 300 people. I'm
Okay.
still just gaining followers slowly.
Good. Keep working on that.
Yep, we're gonna be huge.
Okay, good. All right, sounds good. New episodes every Thursday. The show has ended. Be gone.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.